Yordan, a couple of days ago, Reggie Jackson said he would gladly hand his nickname of Mr. October over to you. What do you think about that?
Hace varios días atrás, Reggie dijo que te quiere dar el título a ti de señor Octubre. ¿Qué tú piensas sobre eso?
No, creo que son palabras bastante fuertes lo que él está diciendo, ¿no? Creo que él está olvidando un poco de lo que él ha hecho en octubre, ¿no? Creo que es un poco bien serio lo que él está diciendo, no tengo muchos comentarios respecto a eso.
Yeah, I think those are some serious words there. I think he might be forgetting a little bit of what he's done in the postseason. Really serious. Don't really have too many comments about that.
And right up front here.
Yordan, some people are classifying this as a battle of the big men, Yordan Álvarez versus Aaron Judge. Do you think about that? There's going to be some power shown in this series?
Mucha gente está clasificando esta serie como la pelea de los hombres grandes, Yordan Álvarez contra Aaron Judge. ¿Tú piensas sobre todo el poder que será enseñado en esta serie?
No, en verdad no le he prestado mucha atención a eso, solamente sé que van a haber buenos partidos aquí. Creo que nada, vamos a salir a divertirnos los dos equipos y a tratar de que gane el mejor.
No, not really. I really haven't been thinking too much about that. All I know is we're both going to go out there, have some fun. I think there are going to be some really good ball games out there and, try to get the job done.
Go to Chandler in the fourth row.
Yordan, you're very good against left-handed pitching. I wonder, have you always been a good left-on-left hitter? And if not, like, how do you think you've evolved against left-handed pitching?
Tú has sido súper bueno contra los pitchers zurdos este año. ¿Eso es algo que tú siempre has hecho o cómo piensas que has cambiado como bateador contra los zurdos?
En verdad es algo que sí, he visto los números, ¿sabes? Uno no ve muchos lanzadores zurdos. Siempre hay, ajustes que puedo hacer con ellos, obviamente, pero no pienso mucho en eso, si es zurdo o derecho. Solamente trato de tener un buen plan y hacer un buen contacto.
Yeah, I have seen that. I've seen the splits, and obviously I don't see too many lefties, so the sample size isn't really there, but I really try not too much to think about that. I just try to go out there with the same attack plan as a right-handed hitter, or a right-handed pitcher, and just make really good contact.
We'll go to Brian, the third row on your left.
Yordan, you guys had Yankees might be your best rival now, having playing in the regular season, playoffs before. A lot of people thought this would be the series all season in the ALCS. What's it like now that you know that you're finally playing them, to have another shot against them, and just the way this rivalry has been the last few years?
Mucha gente piensa en los Yankees como los rivales de los Astros, obviamente como los juegos en la temporada regular, en los años pasados, y mucha gente pensaba que este iba a ser la serie de campeonato este año. ¿Qué piensas ahora ya que vamos a enfrentarnos contra ellos otra vez?
Sí, obviamente había mucha expectativa de que iban enfrentando a los Yankees, ¿no? Obviamente sabemos que son un buen equipo y sabía que tenían toda la posibilidad de ganarle al rival que iban a enfrentar, ¿no? Pero nada, creo que una vez más estamos aquí, nada, tratar de hacer un juego sano y tratar de divertirnos y salir a ganar nosotros.
Yeah, I think a lot of people knew the caliber of the team that the Yankees were. That we know how good of a team they are, and a lot of people had the expectations that they were going to be whoever they played before they got to us. But now that we're here, it's just go out there, try to stay healthy, have some fun, and try to win.
Gabe in the fourth row on your left.
Hey, Yordan. This being your fourth playoffs, how comfortable are you now in the postseason stage, and how much have you learned about being comfortable in the postseason since 2019?
Siendo tu cuarta temporada, ¿qué tan cómodo te sientes ahora que estás en la postemporada y qué has aprendido para mantenerte calmado y enfocado?
Sí, obviamente ya he tenido experiencia obviamente en los playoffs anteriores, incluyendo 2 series mundiales. Creo que obviamente es el mismo juego, lo que es un poco más intenso, ¿sabes? Porque los juegos se hacen un poco más importantes a la hora ¿sabes? Cuando el juego está en la línea se hace más emocionante, todo más bulla, más, ¿sabes? Como cosa de los fanáticos. Pero creo que obviamente si tienes el mismo plan que has tenido todo el año, puedes soportar esa presión.
Yeah, definitely. I think playing two World Series has helped in that regard. But the way I like to think about it is this is still the same game. There will be a little bit louder. Games will be a little bit more intense. Some of the situations towards the end of the game might be a little more intense. And again, also a little more noise. But I think I've done a really good job just to try to maintain the same plan of attack and stay there.
The fifth row on your right.
Yordan, buenas tardes. Obviamente ustedes abren la serie como los favoritos. ¿Se ven de esa manera y cómo mantener la consistencia que han mostrado en los últimos años para posiblemente llegar una vez más al siguiente paso que sería la Serie Mundial?
Sí, el equipo está súper motivado, ¿no? Sabemos que nos vamos a enfrentar a una muy buena serie aquí. Creo que el punto a favor que siempre teníamos era empezar en casa y obviamente lo tenemos. Creo que nada, estamos listos para salir al terreno y dar lo mejor que podemos.
Question was, Astros opening up the series as the favorites. Do we see the Astros as the favorites for the series, and do we think it's necessary to be able to move on to the World Series? And I said, yeah, definitely. I think that we are facing a really good team. This is going to be a really good series. I think that really one advantage that we wanted was to start at home, and we do have that. So we do feel really good going into it.
Any questions for Yordan? Anything else? All right, Yordan, thanks for coming in, gentlemen.
Thanks so
Appreciate it.
much.
Oh, sorry, did I miss somebody? Oh, on the back. I'm sorry.
Yordan, coming here from Cuba, kind of creating your own home here, what has it really meant to you that the fan base has just embraced you the way it have? You, your family, everything about it. You're on T-shirts. I mean, this whole thing, this whole experience being embraced by Houston, what does that mean to you?
Obviamente viniendo aquí desde Cuba, haciendo Houston casi como tu hogar, ¿qué significa para ti que todos los fanáticos te han tomado a ti como ser de aquí de la casa, tener tu propia camiseta, te han apoyado tanto? ¿Qué significa eso para ti?
No, significa todo. Creo que eso es principalmente una de las razones que obviamente me siento tan cómodo en esta ciudad, ¿no? El apoyo que brindan aquí la fanaticada de los Astros. Creo que es increíble y creo que es una de las razones también que el equipo está donde está por el apoyo que recibimos de ellos.
Yeah, it means everything to me. I think one of the reasons why I feel so comfortable here being in Houston is because of the fan base. And I also do think that's also one of the reasons why the team performs as well as we do, is because the fans always give us support.
Guys, thanks very much. Yordan, have a great series. Appreciate it.
Dusty, can you go into the decision to start Fromber in Game 2? And then I have a follow-up after that.
Well, I mean, Fromber's been throwing well. I mean, the whole year, and so we thought that was the best sequence of pitchers. Fromber followed by JV, followed by Fromber, and then if we go deep into this series, Fromber has resiliency to come back, or if we have to bring him back short, or if we have to bring him back at all.
I guess that's my follow-up. Is there any circumstance under which you'd pitch Verlander or McCullers on short rest in this series, just given their histories?
Well, I'm just hoping we don't have to come back, make that decision, and because both have a history of coming off of operations, so you'd rather not jeopardize those guys' career if you can help it.
Brian in the second row on your right.
Are Javier, Urquidy, and Garcia available in the pen as you start this series?
Probably not sure about Garcia because, he'd be on short rest. And so as we go deeper into this playoff, then that'll be an easier decision.
Brian in the third row on your left.
Dusty, this series has kind of been in the making for all season in some ways, and a lot of the rivalry predates you with this club. It goes back to 17 and 19. What's your perspective now that you know that you're playing the Yankees, that you finally have this rematch in a lot of ways, that really it's the fourth time these two teams have met since 15 in the playoffs?
Well, this is about the 10th time I've met with the Yankees, going back to my playing days. And so the rivalry that's been created here, I'm new to it, but, we played them quite a bit last year. And so, it's a big series for the teams, big series for the towns. And probably be rather exciting.
Other questions for Dusty? Chandler?
Diaz in there at DH today, is that just a matchup thing, or is that something that you think is going to continue throughout the series?
No, I'm not sure. I mean, you know, we go on day to day, you see our guys swinging, but that was the best matchup that I thought, you know, gave us the best chance to win today.
And the second to last row on your left.
Thanks. Just talking about this particular team with the sixth one of these in a row, do you mind talking about managing all these different guys with all these different cultures from all these different places and why it's been successful, not only for the last 5 years, but especially this year?
Well, I think managing different cultures is probably one of the easier things for me to do, because I've lived in various cultures. You know, I mean, throughout my life, I was in a predominantly black and Mexican situation as a kid, and then in high school, I was the only black dude in high school, me and my brother, and then went to the South during the tumultuous 60s, late 60s. Then I went to play in Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Mexico. So I've been in almost, in between there, I was in the Marines, so I've been in almost every culture that you could be in. And I think that's what makes the world go around, is, you know, taking people for you know, their face value, and accepting people how they are without trying to change them, but hopefully you can have some influence to help them be better, like people did to me or for me.
Third row on your right, Danielle, and then June.
Urquidy was the only player on the roster for the DS who didn't play at all in that series. Given that, are you inclined to try and throw him earlier in the series just to get him some work?
Well, it depends on the situation. I mean, at this point, you know, every game, every inning's important. If the situation is correct, then that's what we'll do. I mean, he threw a simulated game the other day to try to get him some work that way. Javier threw a simulated game as well, and you know, our hitters, you know, got some live pitching, and then the pitchers got some live hitters.
June, third row in the middle.
Just given that he's a rookie, what has impressed you this year about Jeremy Pena, now that you've had kind of a full year managing him?
Well, you know, he doesn't act like a rookie. He's quiet like a rookie should be, but he doesn't act like a rookie, you know, like some rookies act. I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Where do you think his sense of poise comes from? I mean, coming up big in the 18th inning there.
Probably comes from his background, from his culture, from his dad who played, from his mom that he's close to, and the fact that, you know, I think he's the only Dominican dude I know who went to the University of Maine.
Greg up front to your left.
That wasn't meant to be funny.
It was, whether you intended it to be or not,
Yeah.
Dusty. Thank you for that. You've guided this team through a lot of the reactions, the criticisms, all of those things that date back to 2017. There are some hard feelings that remain from that. As you look back on that, what was the key for you to guide this team through those things to get them to the point where they could go play baseball and succeed at the level that you guys have succeeded?
You know, try to deflect as much as I could away from them, and also to not have to talk about it all the time, and also to, you know, to ask the world for, you know, forgiveness that we didn't get much of, but you still ask for it, and then you forgive yourself if you were guilty, and then you realize that, you know, I don't know anybody in this room that hadn't made some mistakes, you know, so, and then you live your life and go from there.
Any third row on your left.
Dusty, with a couple of the roster changes, you have Seth Martinez in with now 13 pitchers, Jake Myers out. How do you anticipate using Martinez, or kind of what role is there for him? And then maybe the decision between a guy like Hensley and a guy like Myers for that last spot.
Well, you know, like we liked Hensley's at bats. You know, he had played more. Jake hadn't played very much this year. You know, because of injury. I mean, he came in halfway through the year and he was playing catch-up the whole time. And Seth, it was a very tough decision, probably between Seth and Smith, that we'd leave him off again, but they get with their predominantly right-handed lineup, and with Seth being one of the better matchup guys versus right-handers, you know, that went into, you know, the decision.
Anything else for Dusty? I'll finish up in the second row from the back.
Dusty, we don't know if any of these games will go extra innings, but you just played one that was 18. Was curious, did you notice any difference with no runner starting the innings at second base in the approach of your hitters as opposed to what you've been doing for the last 2.5 seasons, i.e., is everyone trying for a home run rather than stringing hits together?
Well, yeah, you probably answered that question. Yeah, I mean, you see the amount of guys that were swinging at first pitches on both sides. You see the amount of strikeouts that were present on both sides. The excellence of the pitchers. You know, this in modern baseball, you don't hardly see stringing 2 or 3 hits together. You know, you see strikeouts or home runs. And like in Cleveland's game, it was decided at 17 innings by Homer. It was decided in our game in the 18th inning by Homer. And that's kind of the way, you know, guys are, you know, approaching modern baseball. And, you know, sometimes the stats show that you shouldn't give away an out or boom, boom, this and that. But sometimes I agree and sometimes I don't. But you know, the game is to get base runners and opportunities on as often as possible, but you got to realize that there were 2 outstanding bullpens and outstanding pitching staffs that were competing against each other.
Dusty, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Queridos amigos, sigan con la máquina deportiva. De parte de José Alberto el Canario, un fuerte abrazo a todos ustedes, siempre dándole su buena salsa. Míralo al revés. Mira que se te ve, llévatela.